Welcome back. The former public relations officer of the Castries Central Constituency Group, Kevin Jabatis, has got himself a new set of wheels. Jabatis, who lives with a physical disability inhibiting his mobility, was gifted with a motorized scooter. He says this gift is the silver lining he sought after he was allegedly reproached by the MP.
About 4 months ago, I went to a meeting with the parliamentary representative for Central Castries, and then I told her about the lack of representation, would not gain and win in the next general elections. And she chose to reproach me based on the wheelchair she gave me, and whatever agenda she had, she blasted out. Well, I am elated because this bad situation brought out a major blessing upon my life, receiving this mobile scooter, and I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Bika's Service Shipping. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Bika's Shipping Services for sponsoring me this mobile scooter. Definitely easier, but it's new, so I'm just taking some time to adjust to it.
That was Kevin Jabatis. Students struggling in the area of mathematics will see intervention on the part of the Ministry of Education to deliver the assistance they need. A numeracy coach will visit schools conducting lessons and observing the delivery of lessons by teachers. Curriculum Officer for Mathematics, Jonella Gifford, says the hope is that by 2022, there will be vast improvement in the scores of students.
Under the Ministry of Education, we have a numeracy coach who is currently working with 4 of our schools. We are currently still working with the pilot, and the numeracy hours basically is an intervention, mathematics intervention for students in Form 4 and 5 who are struggling with mathematics.
Numeracy coach Ian Hippolyte says performances in mathematics fall way below expectations at many schools, signaling the need for urgent intervention to raise performance in this key subject area.
The Ministry of Education, we looked at the results of the CXC pass rate for mathematics, and over the past 6 years, we realized that mathematics at this particular school was not where we wanted it to be. So we decided to come up with an intervention program called Numeracy Hours, where together with the delivery unit of the Prime Minister's office, the Ministry of Education, we got the help of Equip, and we decided let's run a program that will be sort of an intervention for the students of this Simmons Secondary School. This today is a continuation of that program. Part of that program deals with the numeracy coach, myself, sitting in your classrooms, observing you, assisting you and your teacher.
Because really and truly, some of them have been struggling, especially with the 4 pilot schools we're working, that's Cicero, Sir Ira, Patricia D. James, and Miku Secondary. The results have not been too forthcoming over the past few years, and we have the hope that this program, the success stories coming out of those programs, will be great in the years to come.
The schools that are part of the pilot project received materials like geometry sets, calculators, projectors, and algebra tiles. Principal of the Cicero Secondary School, Addie Paul, expressed gratitude for the support toward the school.
Now, of course, as far as I'm concerned, math is the best subject. So we are grateful that we are able to get some resources that your teachers have identified that will help you improve what it is you're doing and hopefully change the attitudes you have towards mathematics. Because we know it's a subject that we all need. But if we embrace a positive attitude towards that subject, then we'll perform better.
The donation was handed over to students who received the math resources on behalf of their school. A project implementation unit of the Global Environment Fund, GEF, 6th Southeast Coast Project, recently concluded a public relations and communications workshop for stakeholders. The workshop was held at the National Skills Development Center in Viewfort.
The government of St. Lucia, noting the vast biodiversity of the southeast coast of the island and the socio-economic benefits that can be derived if the resources are carefully managed, is implementing an integrated ecosystem management project funded by the Global Environment Facility, the GEF. The GEF 6 Southeast Coast Project is designed to enable sustainable economic development of the southeast coast by maintaining healthy ecosystems, sustainable livelihoods, and securing global environmental benefits. A key component of the project is public education and participation. The Department of Sustainable Development held a two-day public relations and communications workshop with stakeholders to develop a communication strategy.
In as much as the project was defined a particular way, but who are we trying to reach? What message do we want to get there, and how do we craft the messages in a way that the people will actually want to listen to it? So over the next 2 days, we're working with persons, like I said, from civil society to develop that strategy. It is important to get the input of the people in the communities that you're trying to reach. They know so much more than the technocrats. They know what people listen to. They know the programs. You know what they know what they like. So it is important for us to do that. So that is what it is that we'll be doing, engaging them over the next couple of days.
Facilitator Aline Regis says discussions about ecosystems management, restoration and rehabilitation of sites and sustainable livelihoods, while technical, impact the residents of the southeast coast directly.
But I think when you break it down, it is really getting persons to understand what natural resources that you have and how do you best use it to ensure that the future generations can benefit, but that also the people today can benefit without destroying, and so the word sustainable, if we understand what that means, is very, very, very important in the process. So it's really looking at what it is that we have, ensuring that we don't lose more, and what we have lost to try and restore and ensure that people can actually make a living from the environment.
The Department of Sustainable Development says it is critical that residents are included in order for the communities to take ownership of the project.
We have people who are parts of producer groups, farmers, fishermen, private sector people in the area. So we want to ensure that everybody is able to benefit from the project, and that based on their input into the communication strategy, that we can also reach, not just themselves, but the participants, in the communities. As stakeholders, one of the components of the project is to develop sustainable livelihoods. So we want to ensure that based on activities identified, that the people generally in the communities are able to use the project funds to make use of the opportunities being provided for them.
The workshop was held at the National Skills Development Center in Vieux-Fort. From the Government Information Service, Lisa Joseph reporting.
Today, the 11th of September, marks the 19th anniversary of the 9/11 terror attacks. U.S. President Donald Trump and Democratic candidate Joe Biden both visited Shanksville, Pennsylvania, where United Flight 93 crashed after it was hijacked on the 11th of September 2001. Americans also observed the day even as the coronavirus pandemic continues to spread across the country. A moment of silence was held in New York City at 8:46 a.m., the moment the first plane struck the North Tower of the World Trade Center on the 11th of September 2011. This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us when we come back, sports and the latest weather forecast.